The biggest difference between those who stay stuck in the same place and those who build wealth lies in a simple decision: investing in yourself. I learned this from Robert Kiyosaki. He used to say that the greatest asset you own isn't your house, nor your car. It's your mind, and if you train it correctly, it will generate results that no external investment is capable of matching. Think with me. What's the point of earning more if you keep making the same financial decisions as always? If you don't change what you know, you'll keep repeating the same mistakes, just with different numbers in the account. That's why I say, the first step to getting rich isn't working more, it's thinking better. Kiyosaki always explained that poor and middle-class people work for money, while the rich work for learning. And that's exactly what changes everything. When you understand how money works, it stops controlling you and starts working in your favor. I like to give a simple example. Imagine someone who earns $3,000 per month. They can spend it all trying to relieve the stress of routine, or they can take $50 and buy a book about finance, mindset, or entrepreneurship. At first, it may seem like little, but after a year, they will have read 12 books. And believe me, that already puts them ahead of 95% of people who never learned anything about money. That's how change begins. Not with luck, but with preparation. When you invest in yourself, no one can take that away from you. The economy can change, jobs can end, but knowledge stays. It's like planting a tree. At first it's small, but one day it starts to give shade and fruit. And I'm not just talking about studying, I'm also talking about taking care of your health, your discipline, your way of thinking. Because no wealth makes sense if you don't have the energy to enjoy it. Every book you read, every course you take, every hour dedicated to learning something new is like putting more bricks in the foundation of your freedom. Kiyosaki used to say that the mind is like a leaky bucket. If you don't keep filling it with knowledge, it dries up. So that's the secret. Before investing in stocks, real estate, or businesses, invest in yourself. The money you put into yourself is the only money that always returns multiplied. And if you think you don't have time or money for this, remember, the price of ignorance is always much higher than the price of learning. So, if this content made you reflect, if you now understand that the first step to getting rich starts inside your mind, like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss the next episodes where I'll show you, step by step, how to develop the right financial mindset to transform what you have today into real freedom. One of the hardest lessons I learned from Robert Kiyosaki is that it's not how much you earn that enriches you, but how much is left at the end of the month. And it may seem simple, but this is the difference between those who advance and those who spend their whole life trying to make ends meet. Kiyosaki used to say, if you can't control the little, you'll never control the much. And that's a truth I see every day. There are people who earn $2,000 and live peacefully, without debts, managing to save a little. And there are people who earn $10,000, but are always in the red. The problem isn't in the income, it's in the behavior. When money comes in, most people think first about spending. It's as if the brain says, I worked so hard, I deserve this. But what they don't realize is that each impulsive expense is a small trap that steals the future. I learned to reverse this logic. First I pay myself, then I pay the rest. This means separating a part of what comes in, even if small, for my future. It could be 100, 200, it doesn't matter. The important thing is to create the habit. Kiyosaki always taught that saving isn't about economizing coins, but about building assets. That is, putting money to work for you, instead of working your whole life for it. And that's why I like a simple principle: live on 70%, invest 20%, and save 10%. This division isn't a fixed rule, but a starting point. If you spend everything you earn, you'll never experience the feeling of seeing your money grow. But when you save a part, even if it seems small, you start to notice something powerful. money starts to obey you. Kiyosaki always reminded us that the rich don't become rich by chance. They plan. They understand every cent that comes in and goes out. They know that every purchase has a visible price, the amount paid, and an invisible price, the time you lost to earn that money. When you understand this, you start to spend differently. Want an example? Imagine two people with the same salary. One spends everything on immediate comfort, new clothes, dinners, installments. The other saves $300 per month and invests that amount in something that generates return. In 10 years, they will be in completely different worlds. The first will have memories of consumption. The second will have freedom. And I say this clearly, true wealth isn't in appearing rich, but in having financial peace. When you spend less than you earn, you buy something that no money can replace. Tranquility. You sleep better, live with less pressure, and have the certainty that you're on the right path. Therefore, before seeking a raise, learn to master what you already have. Money is like a rebellious student. It only obeys those who know how to command. And if you learn to control it now, it will work for you in the future. The poor work for money. The rich make money work for them. For a long time, I thought the only way to improve my life was to work more. Do overtime, get another job, run around non-stop. But the problem is that when you only work for money, time becomes your enemy. You trade hours of life for a payment that, in the end, barely covers what you need. Kiyosaki made me understand that there's a turning point. He used to say, as long as you don't learn to turn money into an employee, you'll continue being its employee. And that means one simple thing, using part of what you earn to create something that generates more money, even when you're not actively working. It could be a small investment, a side business, a skill that transforms into extra income. The important thing is to understand that money can work 24 hours a day, if you give it a purpose. Think with me. How many people do you know who spend their whole life waiting for money to be left over to invest? But that day never comes, because money always finds a new way to escape. The truth is, you don't need to wait to have a lot to start. You need to start to one day have a lot. Kiyosaki called this building assets. An asset is everything that puts money in your pocket. A liability is everything that takes it out. Most people spend what they have buying liabilities. New car, expensive phone, clothes they rarely use, and then wonder why they never move forward. The rich do the opposite. They use money to buy assets, things that generate income, even when they sleep. And make no mistake, this isn't just for those who have a lot. You can start small. Maybe with a monthly investment, maybe with a course that teaches you to create a digital income source, maybe with a simple business. The secret is to give money a productive function. I remember when Kiyosaki used to say, each dollar that enters your pocket can be a soldier, and your goal is to train this army to fight for you. That's the mindset that changes everything, because when money starts to work, time stops being an enemy and becomes your greatest ally. And there's a powerful consequence to this: freedom. You stop depending on a single salary, on a single job. You start building independence step by step. And the best part, you do this in silence while others are still running after the next payment. Most people believe that wealth is having many things, but the real secret isn't in how much you have, but in what you choose to have. That's where many go wrong. They buy things to show success, but don't realize they're moving away from it. The difference between those who build wealth and those who sink in debt lies in a simple skill: knowing what's an asset and what's a liability. Assets are everything that puts money in your pocket. Liabilities are everything that takes it out. And believe me, the modern world was made to confuse you in this calculation. A new car, for example. It may seem like a sign of achievement, but in practice, it's a liability. Fuel, maintenance, taxes, everything comes out of your pocket. An investment, even a small one, is an asset. It works in silence, grows over time, and puts something back in your account. The problem is that many people live in a race that never ends. Earn, spend, pay debts, and start all over again. And the reason is simple. They don't stop to think if the money is going to the right place. Most work to pay for things that lose value, when they should work to buy things that generate value. Those who learn to make this distinction completely change their life. Because the game stops being about earning more and becomes about doing better with what you already have. You start to look at money strategically, not emotionally. And when you do that, money starts to respect you. Want to see the difference? Two people earn the same salary. One buys a new car with long installments and high interest. The other buys a used car, simpler, and uses the leftover money to invest. After a few years, the first continues paying bills. The second has a growing investment and perhaps is already receiving returns that pay part of the bills. That's how financial freedom begins, with small, intelligent decisions. You don't need to earn a fortune to get rich. You need to stop letting money slip through your fingers. Every time money enters your account, ask yourself, will this enrich or impoverish me? This simple question can completely change your future, because true wealth doesn't come from accumulating things, but from accumulating right choices. Before thinking about investing in stocks, real estate, or businesses, invest in your greatest asset, you. Learning, reading, studying, and developing financially is the type of investment that never loses value and always brings return. The problem is that many people spend on everything, clothes, parties, status, but hesitate to spend on knowledge. But it's precisely knowledge that opens doors, increases your income, and changes your mindset. When you understand how money works, it starts to work in your favor. Therefore, invest in courses, books, mentorships, and time to learn. The money you put into your growth comes back multiplied because it makes you more prepared, more aware, and more capable of making good financial decisions. One of the biggest traps I learned about money is depending on a single source of income. When you only live off your salary, you're always limited by time. If something changes, a dismissal, a reduction, or any unforeseen event, everything collapses. The secret to truly building wealth is to diversify, create multiple income streams. It could be a side business, an investment, freelance work, or even something simple that generates profit even when you're not active. Each new source of income is like an extra rope that keeps you safe, even in financial storms. Think with me, two people earn the same salary. One depends only on the job. The other dedicates time to learn, invest, and create new income opportunities. 5 years later, the difference isn't just in the bank balance, it's in the freedom of decision. The person with multiple income sources has choices. They can invest more, change careers, travel, or simply breathe without anxiety. The most important thing is to start small. You don't need to create an empire all at once. A small extra income, added to what you already earn, starts to create a snowball effect. With discipline, patience, and consistency, these small sources can grow and become pillars of your financial independence. And never forget, time is your ally. The sooner you start creating multiple sources, the faster each one will have strength to work for you. The last lesson, and perhaps the most important, is understanding that wealth isn't built overnight. Many people give up early, frustrated because they don't see immediate results. But the truth is that money, like a tree, needs time to grow. Every decision you make today, investing in knowledge, spending less than you earn, creating multiple income sources, is a seed planted. At first, it seems small, almost insignificant. But if you repeat these actions consistently, month after month, year after year, these seeds grow and start to bear fruit. Patience doesn't mean inactivity. It means following the plan, even when results don't appear immediately. It means resisting the temptation to spend what you saved, to abandon studies, or to give up on investments because you think they're too small. Consistency transforms small actions into habits, habits into routine, and routine into financial freedom. That's why people who apply these principles, even earning modest salaries, manage to build solid wealth over time. The secret is not to compare yourself with those who started before, nor with those who seem to advance faster. What matters is following your own pace, with discipline and clarity of purpose. Remember, every euro saved, every knowledge acquired, every investment made carefully is one more stone on the path to your wealth. And in the end, the reward isn't just financial. It's the tranquility and freedom that come from knowing you're in control of your future. The biggest difference between those who dream and those who achieve isn't luck, talent, or money. It's consistent action. You can imagine the life you want, but if you don't transform these dreams into plans, they remain just passing thoughts. Every great wealth started with a simple decision. I'm going to do things differently. Every step, no matter how small it seems, is a victory. Every financial habit you build, investing in yourself, spending less than you earn, creating multiple income sources, acting with patience, is like placing a brick in the foundation of your freedom. And here's the secret that few understand. It's not about speed, it's about direction. You can walk slowly, but if you're on the right path, you'll get much further than those who run aimlessly. Today's discipline transforms into tomorrow's results, and patience is the fuel that keeps your journey consistent. So, even if it seems difficult now, even if the path is long, don't give up. Every day you choose to learn, save, invest, and plan, you're building a life worth living. A life of freedom, security, and real possibilities. And remember, the power is in your hands. Every right decision, every intelligent choice, every investment in yourself is one more step toward the wealth you deserve. Start now, even small. The future is built by those who act today. The most powerful point about money is that it doesn't decide your future. You decide. You may be starting from zero, with little knowledge or resources, but the big difference lies in how you choose to act today. Every financial decision you make is an opportunity to change your life. Every book read, every course taken, every euro saved or invested is a step toward a life of freedom and security. It doesn't matter how slow the progress is. What matters is not stopping moving forward. Remember, ordinary people build extraordinary wealth when they adopt simple and consistent habits. What seems small now, added over time, transforms into something huge. The secret isn't the money you have, but the discipline and mindset you cultivate. So, make the right choice. Start today, even small, but start. The future doesn't wait. It's built by those who act. You have the power to transform every euro, every decision, every minute of your time into a step toward financial freedom. Everything we've talked about so far has one thing in common. The power is in your hands. Every decision you make, every habit you build, every euro invested or saved is a seed for your future. The difference between staying in the same place or achieving financial freedom isn't in luck, nor in earning more money. It's in how you choose to act today. Think about it. You can continue spending everything you earn, waiting for life to solve your problems. Or you can start building habits that, even small ones, will generate extraordinary results over time. Patience, discipline, continuous learning, and the ability to make money work for you are the pillars that no one will take away from you. It doesn't matter where you are now, nor how much you earn. What matters is starting right, investing in yourself, and acting consistently. Every step you take today brings you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. A life of security, freedom, and real possibilities. And remember, it's not just about money, but about creating opportunities, living with less worry and more choices. Every euro invested in your future, every minute dedicated to learning something new, every conscious financial decision is a brick in building your freedom. If this video inspired you, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. In the next episodes, we'll continue showing how to transform small actions into real wealth and financial freedom step by step. Now, I want to know from you, what action are you going to start taking today to transform your future?